Man, that Champions League anthem, man, that Champions League anthem just cooks. And hopefully we can hear more of that. Hey, 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 guys, it's Old Man G here, back again for another preview. This time we are doing what is a late but needed match preview for United versus FC Copenhagen. Before we get into it, if you are new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter at We Are United X. Smash that notification button so you know when we guys are going live. So what we're going to do is we're going to react to and just go through the press conference that happened today regarding the FC Copenhagen game, where Erik Ten Hag basically was sat on to Diego Dallo to answer questions regarding the game. We'll then go into what I think is the starting 11, and then we'll do score predictions after that as well. This is a massive game for Manchester United because, I mean, let's keep it a stack. I'll be honest, I thought that we were going to beat Galatasaray at home. I didn't even envision what happened um, in that game at home. It was a disaster, an absolute disaster. Hoyland came clutch, and to go ahead twice, to take the lead twice, only to concede straight after. And then, the whole penalty decision, and then the third goal to 10 men. It was just an absolute, you even thinking, okay, you've gone down to 10 men, or 2-2. At the very least, don't lose the game. Don't give Galatasaray 3 points, don't give them that advantage. And we couldn't do that. We couldn't defend. It was an embarrassment, and one of the worst performances I think that I've seen for Manchester United this season. So the hope is that United bounce back, but we'll definitely have to see what happens. Good evening, Rob. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining the chat. So let's just quickly have a look at the press conference that Erik Ten Hag did, and he's obviously revealed a few things that will be quite useful for the team. So let's scroll down here. So obviously the talk about Sir Bobby Charlton. It's been a difficult couple of days for the club. What has the outside been like? As you say, Sir Bobby was a legend, a giant, only for Manchester United, but for football, his legacy was massive. So what left were the standards? The high standards we have to live every day. And of course, first of all, our thoughts are with his family, with his wife and his children, his grandchildren. But what he meant for Manchester United, important standards set, we live as the last couple of days. I emphasize well. I hope the players are looking at this because this is essential. This is essential as far as I'm concerned. The players have to perform tomorrow, and they have to remember the standards because, I mean, it was individual brilliance that beat us against Sheffield. The actual overall performance by the players overall was in my opinion, was not good at all. So they've got to do better against a Copenhagen side that are far more, I would say, organized. They're currently first in the Danish league. They're going to be far more organized. You saw what they did against Galatasaray in Turkey, and they put up. Even gave Bayern some problems because they're more defensively organized than us. Yes, they conceded 2 goals, but they were down to 10 men. And then they conceded, I think, 2 goals against Bayern Munich, but they were difficult. But we've conceded more goals than they've conceded 4 goals to Bayern and Galatasaray combined. We've conceded 7 goals to Bayern and Galatasaray combined. So we need to be defensively organized tomorrow, and we need to be on our game as well. Mega says, Poster agree implementing the inverted fullback system better than Ten Hag. I agree. But then at the same time, we don't even have any fullbacks right now. And the fullbacks that, I can't remember the last time we actually played with 2 actual fullbacks. So I will give Ten Hag a degree of leniency there. We just don't. And then there's the argument that how good even when they are fit, how good actually are our fullbacks anyway. But that's my say on that. Like I am seeing, because I'm not taking anything from Ange and what he's doing. But the only thing I would say is that Spurs have had many false dawns before, and it's a lot easier to play when you're only playing 1 game a week in one competition, and you don't have any injuries. I'll see what happens when Spurs start to play more than 1 game, pick up injuries, and have to rotate and stuff like that. Then we'll see what happens to Spurs. But that But credit Big Ange, credit Big Ange. Just turning attention to the game, are you likely to have any players back from injuries? This is key. So yes, we hope. I said it also last Friday. Sergio Reguilon, he got ill for Saturday. Okay. There's a lot of players getting ill for some reason. I've been hearing this a lot. Illness. What? Anyway, it's okay. Get a cold, COVID, maybe, I don't know. So he was fit. He trained all week. So Reguilon actually was fit for Saturday, but he was ill. Okay. He trained all week last week, and yesterday he was for part back in training. Today he will train, and then we'll have to assess if he's ready and game fit, or if he can be involved in the squad. We have to wait for that. So hopefully Reguilon comes back, because we need another. We actually need an actual fullback. Like I said, we've not actually played with an actual. We played Lindelof there. We played Amrabat there for several games right now, and then obviously Reguilon was there when we played, I think, against Bayern Munich, and then before that, maybe sure Wan-Bissaka was fit and Dalla was on the other side. So it'd be nice to be able to actually play actual fullbacks going into this game, but we'll see what happens. I think that will make a a significant difference. But it's good to have Reguilon back, is what I'm saying. So, because at the very least, it means that we can play Reguilon with Dallo, and then we can potentially obviously rest certain defenders, and we can actually not play Amrabat in a preferred position. Say what prompted that development for him to be available. Okay, I don't know why they asked that question. It is easy to put the emotion of tomorrow aside and concentrate on. Is it easy, sorry, to put the emotion of tomorrow aside and concentrate on what is a really important game with the football club? Yes, of course, we're professionals. It's our job, but we can't ban emotions. But use the emotions in the way. I think Diego Dallo did very good on Saturday. Exactly, good goal in memory of Bobby Charlton. I saw a goal from him. I think it was from Wembley or some Disney Diogo did. So we used that. Well, yeah, exactly. If they use that in a positive way, then fine. The unfortunate thing is I don't know whether the players will use that in that way, and that's what concerns me. He again goes on. Can I ask you, given the state of the group, is it a must-win against FC Copenhagen? Or he again says, Ten Hag's posts are boring, man. We have to win every game, but if you see the group, yeah. If you lose the first two games, you definitely, and we do. We've lost the first two games. We have to win this one. If we lose this game, we're not qualifying from the Champions League group stages, and Ten Hag is going to be in massive trouble. So this is a must-win game. City isn't necessarily a must-win game, but quite frankly, looking at the table and how Spurs, Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City are doing, for me, that already is the top five. I'll keep it a stack. If United can't beat City at home, they're not getting top five. If there's any chance, any hope of United getting top five Champions League football, they need to beat City. And it's not because beating City alone does it. It's the fact that it's the precedent. Because if you can't beat City, what choice? What hope do we have to beating Liverpool, beating Arsenal, or beating Spurs? We've lost to Arsenal already. We've lost to Spurs already. We've got to play Newcastle, St James's Park. So if you can't beat City, if you can't beat Liverpool, if you can't beat Arsenal, if you can't beat Newcastle, we have Liverpool at Anfield. If you can't beat those teams, it's not top five, maybe 6th or 7th. But do you really want to see United in Europa League and Champions League? I don't know. I to be honest, I'd rather just Manchester United just not be in any Europe at all, because we're not ready to even compete in these competitions with the squad that we have. Erik, obviously this one was all against Galatasaray, but one of the positives was Rasmussen. Do you feel that game offered a glimpse into the opportunity has, and there's the sort of moments that get excite United fans? Good question. I'm not going to read all of it, but the gist of it is that I don't know why. Look at this, but I think he is a player. He always is scoring position in our team, and I'm confident as well for Marcus Rashford the same. I don't know why he brings Rashford into this. The question was about Højlund. Why does he felt the need to bring Rashford up? Because quite frankly, Rashford, I don't know if that's because he needs to keep Rashford on side, but Rashford has not been great. So I don't know why he's bringing Rashford into it. but okay. Christian Eriksen hasn't started the game since 20th September against Sheffield United. He started on the bench when Casemiro was out through injury. How far is he from the team? Is it just that he's not good enough at the moment to start a game? Definitely he was on the bench, but he takes part in every game. You see his importance when he's on the pitch. He has a big influence on our team by creating. He's a great player. He's a brilliant player, and he's very important for our squad. And then he asked, and just to sum up, what is the reason why he's not starting then? We have many good players. We don't have a squad with 11. We have a squad where there's internal competition, and in the back, we have some struggle to line up. We don't have so many numbers, but in the midfield department, there's huge competition internally in our squad. I think this is quite important because this is because for anyone who is still Sancho FC, and it's like, well, why didn't he 10 access? Why didn't 10 access? It's like, well, the reality is this is why. This is the type of stuff the reporters ask. Okay. He was asked, why isn't Sancho in the squad? And Ten Hag said, because he wasn't training or best or whatever. And this guy basically asked the same question with Christian Eriksen. And he's effectively said arguably the same thing. He's effectively said we have many good players. We don't have a squad with 11. Like, he's effectively said the same thing, paraphrasing in a way. Is Christian Eriksen going to get onto Instagram and cuss Ten Hag out? I don't know. A tribute about obviously winning would be a tribute for Sir Bobby Charlton, of course. Rasmus won't playing against his former club tomorrow. Do you sense from Rasmus that this is going to be a special match for him? When you have a little bit of infatigability, you know it's a special game for him. He grew up there in this club, and you know he'll be highly motivated. But that's for me, for the team, of course, to send him in the right direction. And you hope that, knowing that, Rasmus would know how to play against the defense, and hopefully that would be an advantage for us. Or conversely, know how to play against him. So we'll see what happens. He then goes to talk about how Anthony Martial and Hoyland Kalinske, which, to be honest, I want to see. Like, I'll keep it a stack. I'd rather Martial play on the left tomorrow against. It's not going to happen, but I'd rather Martial play on the left tomorrow with Hoyland than Rashford. But he's not going to do that because he has to have Rashford always playing. He just talked about the atmosphere for the fans, and how important that'll be, as it should. And obviously just a tribute, to body with, it's, for him, and as there should be. And United, as I said, away, this is the first home game, since the Bobby Charlton's parting. This United team should not disgrace the Manchester United badge tomorrow. It's imperative that these guys pull their asses out and don't disgrace the badge. That's the hope anyway. Whether that'll happen or not, we'll see. Like you say, G, it'll be grabbing two flowing fullbacks, but who do you have leave out the back? So we're going to come to that, Rob. We're going to come to that. Mega Rashford will get his per patch in December much. Oh, well, to be honest, at this point I don't mind. His purple patch better come, because if his purple patch doesn't come ASAP, we're going to be in trouble. So his purple patch better come soon. Let's have a look. Okay, right. So let's get that formation generator out, guys. Let's get out. Let's see what the starting, or I predict the starting 11 is going to be like. Right. So let's go on. So formation generator. So what do I think the starting 11 is going to be? Okay. I think in goal, obviously, Onana is not going to be dropped. Whatever anyone says, it's just not going to happen. I think I suspect that he will start the Turkish guy, I've forgotten his name, against Newcastle. But again, for the Champions League, it's going to be Onana. It's just definitely going to be Onana. He is going to start for Manchester United. End discussion. Whether you agree with that or not, it's up to you. But he's going to start. There's no point in making any complaints about it. I mean, like I said, he had a decent game against Sheffield United. I don't think he made any key mistakes, So the hope is that Onana eventually will come good for Manchester United. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully, like I said, he will. Hopefully, he will come good, but we'll see what happens. Who's next? So obviously, I suspect if it was just an illness, I suspect that Reglon will come back and he'll obviously play at left back, and obviously Dallo will come in and play at right back. Dallo's played a lot of games, man. Dallo at some point does probably need a rest, but I think he looks okay, and he works hard. So big up Dallo, man. Yeah, buying, yeah, exactly. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. Centre back is the interesting one. We obviously have City on the weekend. That's good, but Varane didn't start, and this is a must-win game. So I think Varane will probably come in. Even though Varane's form hasn't been that great, to be honest, it's not been that great. But I think instead of Lindelof, you got to put this man in, man. You got to put this man in. I mean, whatever you say about him, since he's come in, his form has been unbeaten. Brentford and Sheffield. I know it's just Brentford and Sheffield, but still, Maguire comes in, So I think you probably bench Lindelof, and it's probably a good idea because he's pretty much the only one that can do a makeshift right back role if you have to take Dallo off. So yeah, I would Maguire and Varane. I'd start Maguire, man. Like he's gonna be slow, but really, FC Copenhagen are gonna be much more pragmatic. I don't expect them to attack us at home. Maybe they'll counter, but I don't expect them to press us particularly. So I think we can get away with Maguire and Varane for this because Lizandra isn't going to be available till January, maybe. We need another centre back. We do, but it is what it is. Let's go to the midfield. Obviously, I think you've got Amrabat here. Amrabat will come in, and then midfield is interesting. Now, he could play Bruno and Mount, but I just have this feeling, and I could be wrong, and I suspect it's going to be Bruno and Mount is going to play Antony on the right. But I just have this feeling that he's going to drop Antony. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something, but I just have this feeling that he's actually going to drop Antony. He's going to drop Antony from his squad, and because of that, but he probably wants to incorporate Mount and Bruno into the team. I don't think you're going to see Palestri. So what I think you might get is you'll get Mount and Hannibal. Hannibal or Eriksen. That's what I think. With speed and stuff, because we did obviously start this against Galatasaray, and Hannibal came off and Eriksen came on. I don't know. I just have a feeling that's going to be the midfield, or maybe with plus or minus Eriksen coming in for Maybury. But I think giving Hannibal gives you that pace, especially when it comes to obviously tracking back and forwards and stuff. So creativity, though, this is a dead midfield. There's no creativity here whatsoever. So it's a little bit of a challenge. But I just I don't know. I mean, he could play Mount and Bruno, of course, he could play them there, but I don't know. I just have a feeling he's going to drop Antony, and Bruno he's going to do the age-old thing. I'm going to play Bruno on the right. So I've got to play Bruno because Bruno's got to come in. So he's going to play Bruno on the right. He'll play obviously Højlund. He'll play Højlund as centre back, and as you know, he'll play Marcus Rashford as left back. I know for a fact that these two players are going to start. These two players are definitely going to start. Whether they should or not remains to be seen. I don't think they should, for the form they've been in. there's potentially McTominay comes in and plays where Mabry's playing potentially. So you could play McTominay, could play Bruno there. I just think Mount will start, and these two will start. I just don't know who the third midfielder is going to be, but I just have a feeling that Anthony will be dropped. Like Anthony just has not been. He's too right-footed, and he's just not been. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, especially with what happened, obviously behind the scenes in his personal life, but he's just not looking good at all. He's really not. He's really not. I like to see Donny. I would like Jason. I don't know about Donny. Every time Donny plays, I see and I'm like, this guy's all right. I don't understand why he gets so much criticism. I don't get why people don't like to see Donny play. I don't get it. I legit don't get it. I don't get why Donny van der Beek is even with Ten Hag. I'm like, who worked with him, who played with him weekly, and it's like, nah. Donny van der Beek is essentially, well, he's behind. I don't know. He's definitely behind Hannibal. He's definitely behind Mainu. He's behind McTominay. He's behind Amrabat. He's behind Casemiro. He's behind McTominay. So he's like seventh choice possibly. So I don't know, unless it's like a massive injury crisis on our midfield, where he'll probably come to the bench. I don't know. So he just needs to leave. I generally don't know what's happened, and I'd be interested to know via Netflix or some documentary or whatever it is what the mystery behind Donny van der Beek, because I'm still scratching my head going, I generally don't know what is going on. We'll see what happens though. I called it last time and I said Scott will play and I think he will start again. Yeah, this is the thing. I think if Scott McTominay is going to start, I think he'll start in the position that Hannibal is going to be starting. I wouldn't be surprised if he does go Mount, McTominay, Amrabat. My only thing, and like I said, I wouldn't mind it. It's just that I'd rather McTominay play further up the field. So, if he's going to play in the midfield, in this midfield, like this, he's probably got to be the most advanced midfielder. So yeah, it's possible that you could do that and play and have Mount and Amrabat holding, as it were, especially Amrabat, and then with McTominay sort of pressing for forward, Bruno and doing the thing. In fact, you know what? Maybe I might remove Hannibal and put McTominay there, because that, for me, makes the most sense. McTominay will obviously advance forward and support Højlund as a support striker, and Mount and Amrabat should hold. I think that's maybe that's how they'll use him, because sadly, McTominay, not sadly, but in a way it's sad, because McTominay has scored 3 goals. That's more than Rashford, Højlund, and Bruno have scored combined, certainly in October, and probably for all season, because Rashford has only scored, I think Rashford scored 1 goal, Premier League PL goal. Højlund hasn't scored any, and Bruno just scored 1, I think, against it was against Burnley, wasn't it? And McTominay scored 3 goals. So there you go. So I don't know. Moving on. Score predictions as we begin to wrap things up. We have to win this game. We have to win this game, guys. We have to win this game. We have to win this game. We do. We have to win this game. There's no excuses, really. We have to win it. And I think we will win it. By hook or by crook, I think we will. But we need to take the initiative right away, and we need to play well. And we've not played well for a while. So I'm still predicting a win, but it's going to be a hard-fought win, and it's not going to be easy. And I won't be surprised if we draw, but we have to win. And we have kind of, in the last couple of games, been grinding the results out. I just think that FC Copenhagen, because they're defensively disciplined, it's going to be quite difficult. So we need to keep a hold of the ball, and we need to just allow them to come at us. I don't think I'd like to think that Maguire and Randall should be fine, and I think that if Reguilon and Dell are playing with the fullbacks pushing up, I think that will help us as well. But obviously, we'll see what happens. That's my team, and like you say, I think he'll drop Anthony. Exactly, I think he'll drop Anthony as well. Anthony just doesn't seem to be there with it, and I keep on saying the dude's too one-footed, man. He is too one-footed. It kills our attacks every time. But I don't like Bruno being there either. And Sancho probably would come in, but Sancho's not apologizing. So you've effectively spent 140 million pounds on wingers, and you're basically getting rid of one of them, and then the other one is just not good enough. Typical Manchester United. 2-1 win in Fergie time again. Yeah, probably. Walkins. What I want and what I hope from this game is that if United score first, that we do not concede within. If we're going to concede, let's at least concede. Give it 20 minutes. Give it 30 minutes. Let's concede then. Let's not concede within 10 minutes of just scoring a goal. Can we try and do that? Can United try and do that? I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's even with the Sheffield United against the weekend, we scored. Great, yeah. And then within 10 minutes, we gave them the penalty, Sheffield United scored. Why is it that Manchester United switch off automatically when we score goals? Against Galatasaray, it was notorious. Scored first, switched off within 5-10 minutes, they concede. Same thing, score again, 5-10 minutes, we concede. I don't understand this depth from this Manchester United side. And I don't blame that on Onana. The mistake, yes, Onana was bad, but my goodness, man, we can't defend, we can't hold on to the ball. Why are we so vulnerable when we score? And it's important because our attackers aren't scoring enough goals, so these are the things, But yeah, to round things off, obviously, there's reports about Casemiro and how he feels at United. There are a lot of players now that seem to United is a graveyard. It has the allure of something beautiful, but actually there's just stench and death and decay right now. And that's the reality of Manchester United Football Club right now. And I don't know what's going to fix it. But what I do know is that if United don't win this game, they can kiss Champions League qualification goodbye. And because are we really going to beat Bayern at home? I'm not sure. And any chance of any successful start to the season go if you're telling me that you're basically in your last 5 games, you've lost 3 of your home games. You're lost and to teams that United typically should beat in Crystal Palace, in Galatasaray, and FC Copenhagen. The last time we played Copenhagen at home, and this is to give context, guys. The last time we played Copenhagen at home was in the Europa League 2019-2020, and United went 1-0 ahead. 1-0 ahead against Bruno. I think it was Bruno who scored a penalty. I think it was. So that goes to show you that Copenhagen are going to be very, very defensive. Ten Hag out, RDS. I've seen no improvement since his arrival. I mean, it's. I'm not. Wasn't Ten Hag out? It's not even. I think with me, it's just I'm just like apathetic to it all because I've been here before, so it's like. So for me, it's just like, it's not even so much Ten Hag out. It's just that, so the cycle's over and we're going to repeat the same cycle again, type of thing, because at the end of the day, like the main issue with the football club is the ownership, is the structure. And now, because of Radcliffe, that structure is going to be maintained. So I don't really have any real strong thoughts when it comes to a manager staying or going, because at the end of the day, any manager that's going to come in is going to work under the same ownership and structure, which is toxic and awful. That's just how it is. Z says, so sorry, AD, how you doing, buddy? Dave, I've just come in and see Bruno on the right. I'm now going. Yeah, sorry, David T. I just think he's gonna drop him. It's not me. I don't, but it's not me. But I think he's just gonna drop Anthony. He's gonna drop Anthony, and he's got to play Bruno, and he's got to play Mount, because that's just what he's gonna do. Um, I just see him starting Mount in this game, and Anthony. I just have a feeling he'll be dropped. I mean, like I said, he could play Mount and Bruno together, but I don't think that will work. And I think Ten Hag knows that as well. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. G, what do you think about the rumors that Graham put replace Ten Hag? Really, can you say, nah, that's just paper talk. That's just paper talk. That's paper talk. He has Ten Hag has support from everyone, from the both the potential owners and stuff like that. It's just paper talk. I don't see um, Graham Potter coming in anytime soon. I think that's just rumored paper talk. So, but like I said, I don't. I've said this several times that I just don't see. Um, I don't see anyone coming in, and this is what people need to realize is that, like, when especially when people suggest, like, I see, for example, when Mega suggests Xabi Alonso, like, I see what you're saying, but the reality is that, like, people were talking about how good Ten Hag was before he came to Manchester United. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, like, I didn't remember anyone saying, people talking about what Ten Hag did with the Ajax team. And you look at Ajax now, Ajax are a mess. They were talking about what he did with the Champions League final, being under Pep, all these different things, his philosophy, etc. Now, and the way that Ajax played beautiful football under Ten Hag, and he's come to Manchester United. So the point I'm trying to make is, why are we, when we have a coach that is under, what you need to look at is not the coach, but the structure that the coach is working under. That coach is able to do what they're able to do because they're just like De Zerbi at Brighton, because they're under a specific sporting structure. What is that structure at Manchester United? So what's going to happen at Xabi Alonso is that Xabi Alonso is going to come. He's going to inherit players that he's got to use, i.e. Rashford, i.e. Bruno, etc., who can't play the way Xabi Alonso wants to play. He might buy one or two, a couple of players that he gets. He won't get most of the players they want to get, because that's how the Glazers are. He'll then have to work out a dysfunctional team that includes Ten Hag's players, Ollie's players, Mourinho's players, and his players, and try and get it work. And then when injuries hit, the club won't back him, and then he'll struggle, and then we'll be back again. That's just the reality. Gee, we just don't have a control in. Oh, sorry, Joseph says, "Gee, we just don't have a control in midfield since Carrick. We just suck at keeping the ball and being patient or counter." Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, I'd argue that that Pogba was a controller. Pogba could keep a hold of the ball. Like, but you're right. Carrick and Pogba, to me, are the only two United players I had in the midfield. They're like, okay, this midfielder can control. But again, recruitment. When it comes to recruitment, we've not replaced Carrick, and we didn't replace Pogba. None of the midfields that we have. I mean, I'm hoping that Mainu has that, but we'll see what happens. But he's the only one I'm like, maybe Mainu could do something. Everybody else in the midfield, Eriksen probably could have done it when he was younger, but he has no legs. That's all we have, really. Everyone else, Casemiro can't do it. Hannibal, I don't think can do it, to be honest, although he's still young. Bruno can't do it. Mount can't do it. McTominay can't do it. So, that we are there. All I'm saying is, Ajax have no manager. Now would be a good time for ex board Ajax manager to turn if someone our fan base don't want it. Well, Ajax. Well, but again, the situation with Ajax is structural. Like, if you look into what's going on, obviously with Overmars going, and the subsequent people that came in, signing poor players, and then the other person that came in, director of football, who's now been sacked because he was involved in corruption, etc. So these are the things. Like, this is what I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, United have had all the managers that have come price managers with the Jose's, Van Gaal, so all these managers had success, significant success, before they came to Manchester United. And then they come to Manchester United and then it doesn't work. What's the common factor here? Is it the managers or is it Manchester United? So I'm at the point where, like, I don't really care either way. If we sack him, it's fine. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Xabi Alonso or Big Ange or Zabi or any other man is going to come into this existing structure and is going to succeed. Because they're going to have to work with players that are overpaid, that have a lot of player power, and an ownership and a sport model that is basically just doesn't work. And as I think you said, Alex players listen saying that is a difference, yeah. But this team has a history of players that just drop on the coaches. They listened to Ollie for a bit, and then they just lost their confidence and they couldn't play anymore. But it is what it is. So I don't know. But what I will agree with is that, like, if he loses to Copenhagen and City back to back, he's going to be on credible thin ice. Although I suspect, like I said, with the current issues with the ownership and the selling of the club, etc., that they're not in a rush to do anything with him. And in fairness, in the league, we're only 5 points. Is it 5? How many points from top? It's 8 points from top. 5 points from fourth, 8 points from top. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to be wanting to pull the trigger anytime soon with this guy. But regardless, he has to win. He has to. If he doesn't win, pressure is going to be on him and the players, and the rumors of new managers and new coaches are going to come in thick and fast. I agree. Final thoughts. Well, I haven't even said my score prediction. I say. I mean, let me know what you think in the chat. But I say 2-1. 2-1. I say 2-1. 2-1. 2-1 just. I think Rob gave the score. 2-1 just. Joseph says 3-1. Yeah, I think 2-1. I think Højlund will get one because although Højlund's not scoring in the Premier League, he is G'ing up in the Champions League. Obviously scored a goal against Bayern Munich and scored two goals against Galatasaray. So I think Højlund will get one, and I think the other one will probably come from one of midfielders. You know what? I'm going to say McTominay again. If McTominay plays, I'm going to say McTominay is going to get a second G because I think he's now, and that's the thing. What I like, as much as I think McTominay shouldn't play in midfield or whatever, I like the idea that he's now feeling a bit goal hungry. He's now feeling like I can take shots, I can take strikes. I'm feeling a bit goal. So yeah, I think him and McTominay are gonna G up, and obviously we'll concede because we do. That's United. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the preview. We'll hopefully be back with a match reaction where hopefully we'll have won. We'll see. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers. Peace out, guys. Peace out.